Hello everyone, here we go. It's Technique Tuesday. That means every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Sydney time, unless otherwise advised, I am live to go over a new technique with you. Hello everyone, how are we all today? I see we've got lots of folk here watching, so thank you all for popping on, and I see you're all chatting busy to each other, which is lovely. um, I've just had to lock Crumpet out of the room because he just wanted to be on the desk today, and some days that doesn't work so well for me. I feel very bad locking him out of the room, but my husband's out there, so he'll keep him entertained. So hopefully he'll stop meowing in a moment. It's very distracting. Hi, Gina. Hi, Nicole. Hello, Marsha. So this time I know suits a lot of my overseas friends a lot better than the evening time slots that I normally go live. Normally I go live 7:30 p.m. on a Friday and a Sunday night, Sydney time, but this is 2 o'clock. And so it's a much earlier time slot, and it suits a lot of my overseas friends much better. If you can hear the cat, my apologies. He is not happy right now. Oh, you can't get warm today, Sheila. It's cold where you are. Yeah, I've got this is like it's like teddy bear material. I don't know if you can see it, but it feels like being, all warm, wrapped up in a nice teddy bear jacket. Actually, I think it's called a teddy jacket, literally. So I bought it very cheaply a few weeks ago, and I'm very glad I did because it's been much loved and used, keeping us warm in this cold weather. Although today's not too bad now, the sun's out. It's the afternoon, but this morning was cold. It was 6 degrees here this morning, which is getting a little on the chilly side. I looked it up. That's 42 degrees Fahrenheit. So for anyone, and you guys in the US are going, that's nothing. It's not cold. But I have to tell you, it is a sad reality that most Australian homes are not insulated well enough for the cold weather. We operate on the assumption that it gets very hot in summer and we forget all about winter. Admittedly, for us, winter is a shorter season, thank goodness. But still, most of us struggle through a very cold winter in our not well insulated homes. And it's fleecy. That's right. Exactly. All right. So I'm just looking through. Wonder what I have to teach you today. Well, I always wonder as well, because quite often Tuesday rolls around and I haven't yet decided what I'm going to do. But I'm taking inspiration. Some of you would know it's called the Create With Us tutorial bundle group. And I haven't put this month up yet, and I really should do that because I offer the tutorial bundle to team members who have attempted our team challenge each month, but I also offer it for sale on my blog. And some months I forget to offer it, but I have it available. And there's 15 of us from around the world, and we each month do tutorials they're written tutorials with full measurements and all that kind of stuff, photographs, all the things. And it comes out as a document, and it's usually about 100 pages long. It's not a small document, but it's contributed to by 15 of us. So I have one of those, and next month's theme is what has inspired my technique today. So next month our theme is special shaped cards. And so I thought I'd show you a few special shaped cards that I was considering using, and the one I did end up using for the tutorial bundle next month. And excuse me. And I just enjoy making these kind of cards. There's something a bit different. You will need a die cutting machine, a cut and emboss machine, which right now, if you don't have one of those, they are on sale. So it's a very good time. You live in a mobile home, not well insulated. Oh, absolutely. It must be very cold in winter. Definitely. Yep. Well, I have a little electric heater here, but they're not cheap to run, and this room doesn't have air conditioning. We do have what we call air conditioning is reverse cycle air conditioning, which means it heats in the winter and it cools in the summer. So in the summer, the house is beautiful and cool, no problems at all. But in winter, it's got very high ceilings and it is hard to heat. So I have a little electric heater that I keep here next to me if I'm working in here, because I don't feel like working in this very cold craft room. This craft room, like your room, Janine, is an addition, wasn't part of the original house. And so, the house doesn't have insulation anyway, but this room is particularly cold. So I do keep a little heater next to me. All right. So everyone's saying they're cold. Get yourself one of these little teddy. This only cost me $39.95. Nice, like this teddy bear fleecy material. So yeah, it's yummy to wear. It makes me feel like I'm nice and warm. Okay, let's stop talking about the weather and get crafting. What do you think? Let's switch over to the desk. So I'm going to hit the button for that. And I'm going to show you, first of all, we're going to talk about, what am I talking about? Well, here's the card that I made for the tutorial bundle next month. I don't normally show it in advance, but this is next month's project. And as you can see, it is not a regular shape. This is what I would call a special shaped card, okay? And you can see it opens up. Like a normal card would, and I've decorated it, but it's actually a super easy card to do. And I have used the citrus bloom dies for this one. Okay. However, we've got a whole bunch of different dies in our repertoire that actually would work well for this particular technique, and I'm going to talk about a few different ones, and we'll try a few different styles, and then we'll actually make up a card, if not two. Okay, so let's see how we go. Now, what you're going to need some pieces of paper, and the shape of the paper that you need is going to depend on whether you are, of the shape that you're using. Okay, so if, for example, I wanted to do, now this one, obviously, it's not as wide as it is long. So for this one, the fold is at the top. Okay, and so you would need a piece of full cardstock width length long. So in Australia we use A4, which is 29.7 centimeters, slightly less long than the 11 inches that are on US letter. Okay, but it will work for both. All right, it doesn't really matter. So 29.7, let me just tell you what the difference is. 29.7 is this long, and 11, so it's about, well, isn't it? It's 17. Is that right? Yeah, 17 centimeters less long, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually, about an inch less long. Okay, so this is the full length. You can see I've just picked a couple of scraps out of my scrap drawer, so they're a bit dog-eared and so forth, but that's okay. And what I'm going to do with this would be suitable for something that is longer than it is wide, and I'm going to fold this in half. Like I said, doesn't matter if you have letter or A4, it's going to work for both. All right, I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure, and this is important, you need to make sure you get a really good crease, a good flat fold, okay, which a bone folder can help you get. All right, now, then we get to choose our dies. Now, we have a number of different dies. Whoops, I'm realizing I'm not keeping up with comments. Sorry about this. Oh, you like the card? Oh, the cats have got an electric blanket. Well, how pampered are they? Yes, we don't have what you guys call a furnace. I know when I go home to my husband's family in Michigan, if we go in the winter, and I've only been a couple of times at that time of year, so like, just after Christmas around that time, it's super, super cold. Like the air has a real bite to it. And of course there's snow and all those things, but the house is toasty warm. You can walk around inside with a t-shirt on. It's fantastic. And that was a real surprise to me because our homes are so cold in winter. So yeah, I have experienced that firsthand. All right, so I'm going to pull out a couple of dies. I've got some here that I pulled out earlier that all work pretty well for this particular technique. Now, there are others. For example, the deckled circles I have. The deckled rectangles I don't, but the deckled rectangles would work. And you can do this in different sizes. So if we're doing a full-size card, we want something that is close to a full size. So this one I'll come back to because that makes small. Countryside Corners is good because it goes fairly big. All right, so we could use that. And who has made special shaped cards before, or who hasn't? Actually, that's probably a better question. Who has not made, special shaped cards? So this is the biggest one. So that means our card is going to be this size, still smaller than this. And the secret is to put it up near the top, but you want the fold. I'm going to show you what I mean. You want the fold to fall short of this cutting edge. Okay, so everything is going to cut, and yes, it will cut through both layers at once. Okay, but we do not want to cut through at the fold, so we make sure that the die is situated, its top edge is situated beyond the fold. Okay, so if I was to, let's get my cut and emboss machine in. Also, this is the last week that the cut and emboss machines will be marked down. They're currently 10% off, both the big one and the minis, both the minis, the blue and the white. The blue one is a little cheaper because it's normally 110, but you get to take 10% off that. And then the mini in the white is 115. These are Australian prices I'm giving you. And then the the big one, this one, this is normally, oh, I should have looked this up before I started. I think it's $229 or something like that. And then it's going to be 10% off that. So I need to probably check that price. But can you see that my fold is inside this cutting edge? I'm keeping it very, very close. If I move it too far up, I'll get a shorter card. And I want my card to be as big as possible with this die. So I'm just going to run that through. I know last week we did faux tearing, and quite a lot of people told me they'd never done that before. So that was kind of cool. I like showing you guys things that maybe you haven't seen before. You haven't seen it, Leslie? Oh, there you go. All right. So what happens? Okay. See how the fold was inside? And so when I take off the extra bits, all right, now this fold is still intact, and I have a card that opens out to be this shape. All right. So I'll put that one to one side. I'll probably come back to one of these. I don't know which one, maybe a couple, and we'll make them up. But then what I like to do quite often is I like to put, oops, I just dropped a die. I like to put a smaller one on top. So maybe the next size down, the next one or two sizes down, just so we went two sizes down. And then that is going to form, you know, the front of our card, and it'll, you know, obviously they're nested dies, so they perfectly work this way. So hopefully this is giving you an idea of how I like to do this. Let me find that die. Where did it go? The one on the ground. This is actually the one I use the most, this one. It's a really good size for sentiments and things like that. All right, so that's the countryside corners. All right, now other ones that I have, you can go through your dies on your shelf and work out which ones would work well for this. But another one would be the perennial postage. Perennial postage has a large shape. All right, so let's open this one up. Same thing. This one's got a nice big one that could form a card front size. And I just dropped it. Can you believe it? I just dropped another die on the floor. I'm just having one of those days. But anyway, so this one would be exactly the same. So let's just, I'm going to fold my full length piece of balmy blue, and I'm not moving my machine at the moment. I'm going to make sure I use my bone folder and get a nice fold. And of course it's underneath my machine, I think, isn't it? Oh goodness, I'm losing things already, and I only just sat down. We've only just started, guys. Isn't that the way? All right, but anyway, you get the idea. We're going to use our bone folder. We're going to fold over the fold, and then you'll put this so that it's just beyond the fold, okay? And then we run it through. So this time we'll have a different shape. We're going to have the shape of this die. Now, when I put that down, it moved a little bit, so I don't want it to cut any of the... There we go. That's better. So if you're using this shape of die where you've got one, you know, two long sides and two short sides. I'm just going to bring that back again. I've had a bit of, I actually need a second machine. This one's getting very long in the tooth. Unfortunately, they don't last forever. I mean, this one has done an obscene amount of cutting, as you might imagine. And I'm thinking I really probably should get a new one at some point. All right, so can you see how that now has made this shape card? And we've got that scallopy edge all the way around, and it's rather nice, isn't it? Do you like that? All right. I just hope it doesn't finally break while I'm live. All right, so this one would need a long, thin piece as well, okay? But let's look at the deckled circles for a second. All right, so the deckled circles, depending on how big you go, I'm deciding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm thinking about that would be about the right size. And I'm going to do this. I'll move these for a second. Oh, look, there's my bone folder. Didn't quite. Okay, bone folder's right there. There it is. I've got to remember that. So I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss. And I'm going to cut it in half like a normal card front or card base, okay, which is cutting it at the halfway mark. So this is, what is it? I can't even remember. This is 21 centimeters across by 14.8 is standard A4 card size. All right, and I'm going to fold it the normal way. I'm going to use my bone folder. And that's a nice, now if ever, I don't know if you can see this, let's see, little tip. All right, sometimes when you use your bone folder, if you press very hard, and I usually do, and you're doing it on a hard surface, you might get a bit of a shiny, it's actually like a burnishing, shiny edge across here. If you don't like that, because you can actually see where your bone folder went, turn it over and just use the other side. That might sound pretty basic, but just check for that, because I don't actually like it when I get that. Now I've got this size. This is the 5th one down from the biggest, and I'm going to put this so it's right on the edge of this piece. Actually, I'm going to bring this down because I could use this for something else, like making a sentimental or something like that. All right, and you can see I'm a bit over the edge. I'm a bit further over the edge with the circle because I need to make sure if I go too close to the edge, then there's hardly anything to hold the card together. The fold will be too small. So I want to go a little bit more over the edge with a circle shape like this. I'm going to put it through, and I'm going to make sure that my cutting edge is completely on the card, and this bit here, like it goes beyond that fold. So is everyone understanding what I'm saying when I say beyond the fold? I want it to go extend beyond that, so the fold itself doesn't end up cutting. Right, so let's wheel that through. Click. And while I'm here, because I'm going to turn this into a card, I'm actually going to go down to my next size of deckled circle, because I'm going to do this is the card base, so I'm going to do the card front as well. So that'll be the next size down. So this was number 5, so I want number 6, the next smallest one. So that's going to fit just inside the other one. And I'm going to do that in crumb cake. So I have some of that here. So let's put that, and this time I'm not making a card shape, I'm just doing the card front. So I'm just going to pop that on there. Hi Linda from Las Vegas, nice to see you here. Hello Cherie, I thought you'd be at work today. I keep thinking I must call you, and then I think, oh no, she's at work. But does this mean you're not at work? Why do I not know this? All right, so I've got this piece here, and that's going to be the card front piece that goes on my, so you can see because they're nested, they fit together really, really well. I'm going to bring in a bit closer. And this one is the same thing. When you put it on, you do the fold. So it's citrus blooms. Did I bring those out? I don't know that I did. Oh, yes, I did. Here. Okay, so you're looking for big dies that could effectively be the whole shape of your card. Remember the scallop contour dies that we used to have? Those retired. Those are really good for this as well. They make nice scallopy shaped cards. All right, so this is the one that I used for this. Okay, so let me look at, I'll show you on the back. It might be easier to see. So you can see that the fold is a little bit longer. I kept it close, but it's a little bit longer than the card itself, so that the fold was kept intact. Okay, and that's the shape that I cut out. Oh, I've got ink on my hands. I'm not sure how I got that there, but you know, that's me. All right. And you can see that I've basically then just decorated it from that point. And that's the card that's going to be in the tutorial next month. So that's kind of cool. But like I said, there'll be another 14. You know, I'm not spoiling too much because there will be another 14 projects in the tutorials. Right, let me move these few things out of the way and let's decorate up this card. I did make a version of this earlier when I was deciding what I was going to do. I can show you or we can just make it. Do you want to just make it? I'm not quite finished the other one anyway. You love, love, love that die. I know it's a really good die. I think you're talking about the Citrus Blooms one. Is that right? Is that the one you mentioned? Now, just for anyone who is looking at buying things that are in our bundle sale this month, the Citrus Blooms was out of stock and it's just come back in. Okay, so Citrus Blooms is now available again as a bundle. That's the you know, the oranges and the lemons, and then those beautiful dies with all those shapes. So I really love them. I think they're great. There's these three, that one, and then this one that does the leaves. I don't know if you can see it, but on here, on this one, I actually use the leaves to emboss the shape. Can you see that? So a couple of weeks ago, we did embossing with your dies, and that's the same technique that I use with a silicone mat and pop that through. So if you haven't seen that done, you might want to go back and have a little look at that one so you can see how I did that bit of embossing. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit of fun. All right, so there's those three dies in that set, but then there's also these ones. So these ones here that match the stamps, and there's a couple of little ones that match stamps, and then there's some standalones as well. Super good die set. Really, really nice. I've been using this one a lot, and I'm very glad it's back in stock. Craft along is this Thursday. Yes, the 27th, same time as this, 2 p.m. So I'm still, actually today is my day. I'm supposed to be coming up with all my alternative card ideas and I'm still working through them. So let's hope I get that finished in time. All right, I'm going to use another of my favorite bundles, and this is the Layers of Beauty bundle, although I'm just using the stamps. I'm not using the dies. And we're going to stamp this beautiful stamp here in Blackberry Bliss ink, because remember our base is Blackberry Bliss. All right, and I'm going to ink this up. Let me grab my Blackberry Bliss ink, and we're going to just make sure. So the easiest way, this is a little tip for you if you haven't seen me do this before, the easiest way to ink up a big stamp is to actually lay it down face up, flat on your desk, and then take your ink pad to the stamp rather than trying to get the stamp onto the ink pad. This is much, much easier to do this, okay? And the other thing you might want to do is when we use a big stamp like this, and when it's photopolymer, you also want to have a think about having a mat or a bit of something with a bit of give. Even a mouse pad will do it. A bit of give underneath your stamping. So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to pop this here, and I'm going to stamp this actually right across my circle. So it's going to go off the edges, but I'm not worried about that. This is such a beautiful stamp. So beautiful. Really, really lovely, right? All right, now there are a number of different ways we could color this. I am a big fan of white gel pen, and for some of you who saw the card I made on Sunday night, I did tell you that I would be adding some white gel pen and posting it, and that went up yesterday, and I did post that card. So if you didn't see the finished card with the white gel pen, you probably really enjoy that. But I'm going to add some color to these. Now I could use blends. I have got Blackberry Bliss. I could use a number of things, but I'm going to go the cheap way, and I'm going to use a small, you could use a sponge dauber or a small blending brush, and I'm just going to sponge some color into the center of these beautiful roses. All right, so we're just going to add color into the middle of those. I might have added too much to that one, but that's okay. We can actually, if we don't like any of the roses, we can cover that up as well, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a second. All right, so, oh no, it doesn't look bad. Those two, there's another one here, but it's kind of off. So let me just get rid of that for a second. I'm just going to add a tiny, tiny bit of color to that one that's off there. And I did not wet my cleaning brush before, so we'll just pop that there and pretend it's not there. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to use some white gel pen. I want you to remember how this looks right now, okay? Because when you add white gel pen, it's going to lift the whole thing. White gel pen is one of my favorite things to use. Is it the one with the stencils? Yes, Leanne, that is it. Yeah, and in fact, you get the stencils as well in the bundle. So you get the stamps, the dies, and the stencils. Or some people call them masks, but it's the same thing. Oh, Gina, so the Citrus Bloom is one of the ones that's not available out there. Hopefully it'll come back in before the sale ends. Wouldn't that be awesome? Yep, I know. Wildflower Designs, Leslie, went out of stock yesterday, which means you got in the nick of time. I know, it's just like that sometimes. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some white ink to my little daisies that are around here, and it's going to lift the whole thing. You'll see the difference immediately. And when I use white gel pen, I'll do this as a separate standalone technique one day. But what you want to do is you want to add the white, but you want to add it so that you can, it's like inside, I'm avoiding the lines so you can still see most of the lines. Now, if you do happen to cover up a couple, that's okay. But I'm just adding the white as much as possible so that you can still see the edges of the petals around that are stamped. So it's just a really nice, simple, easy technique, but it adds so much depth to your projects, and it's something you probably want to have a think about doing every now and then. But yeah, like I said, I'll do it one day as a standalone technique, and we'll talk more about this. But it's very, very easy to do. Now I'm adding all the little flowers, all the little daisies other than the roses. I'm going to add this. So it's going to take a few minutes while we do it, but it's going to look really, really good. Can you see how nicely it starts to lift the whole thing? Like up until then it looks a bit unfinished, but once you start adding your white, it's going to pull the whole thing together. I'm going to avoid the leaves. I'm thinking I'm going to leave the leaves uncolored, and I'll show you. I've got another sample here that I did earlier that I'll show you, and you can decide whether we want to add leaf color or whether we want to leave the leaves uncolored. Oh goodness, I'm busy today. I've got so much to do, and I'm really not getting enough of it done. But I will be ready for Craft Along on Thursday. I just need to finish making all my projects and then start videoing them. So it's a little guy over here. I can hear kookaburras outside. I love being able to hear kookaburras when it's a really good day when I can hear the black cockatoos going over. They're my favorites. We've got also king parrots around here from time to time. I don't see them very often, but I do love them. All right, can you see how nice these white bits are pulling this out? Okay, isn't that lovely? All right, so I've got one I prepared earlier. Here's another one. All right, so there you go. It's the same thing, but with the white bits added. I think it's a slightly different, but you've got more of this third rose here, but they look good, don't they? Yeah. All right, so let's finish off this card. First of all, I'm going to pop this, and I am going to have, I'm deciding where I want it to go, because if I'm going to have a greeting on it, I have got, let me see, I know I have some here. I've got like a little piece of Blackberry Bliss, and I thought I would white emboss because that'll also match up with the flowers, and I just need to decide where I want this to go. I don't want it to cover any of the white, but I also don't want it, you know, to cover up too much of my roses. So I don't know. What do you think about there? Maybe so a little bit of the roses, a little bit, like I'm thinking about there. I could also go up here. That would be another one. That would look nice as well. Okay, so I'm going to pop a greeting on here. There is a couple of nice ones. You make my heart smile, but I don't know that that's going to fit. So I think that's going to be just a little bit too long. Yeah, it's going to be too long. So let me find another set that has some really nice greetings. And I saw one earlier and I thought, oh, that'd be perfect. But now I've got to find it It was something new. Was it in the Winterly Treetops? No, it wasn't. It was something that I saw and went, that's a new set. Might have been Sketch Butterflies because I know it's a new set to me. Maybe. I can always add the greeting later if I can't find the right words right now. Or I could just do a hello. There's a nice thanks in Spotlight on Nature. I shouldn't show you this one. Spotlight on Nature is the other set that's out right now. So the two bundles I have unavailable right this moment are Spotlight on Nature because the stamp set is out of stock, therefore the bundle is out of stock. And the other one that's out of stock here in Australia is the Wildflower Designs. Okay, those two are both out, very frustratingly. Round We Go has some nice little greetings. We've got a to you, which would be nice. And we also have, yeah, we just have, the happy birthday is going to be a little bit too long. That one's nice. This was out of stock a couple of days ago. It's come back in. So yay to that. We love it when they come back in. And I know, in Citrus Blooms, we have a Just Checking In. That's a really nice one. This little guy here. Do you want to, shall we use that? Just checking in, or do we want something different on this card? What does everyone think? Oh no, Jody, is that what happened? I wondered when I first got the message, I thought that was bogus, and then when I saw that you changed it in a number of places, I figured, no, something's happened. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to put this onto here with dimensionals. The other thing is we can choose if we want to add a ribbon or twine. Twine might be nice in this case. I'm thinking linen thread. Linen thread is, just goes with everything. You think just checking in is good? Okay, let's do it. All right, so I'm going to pop this so it's right here in the middle. Like, oh, I didn't quite get that in the middle. Let me try it again. Move it. That's better. All right, and then, yeah, it's not good, is it? Don't know how these things happen. I like the Uniball, Nicole. I like it. I mean, one day, I really hope that Stampin' Up will get them in again one day because I think they're so useful. We used to have white gel pens, and it was the Uniball broad tip. You can get those at Officeworks, but I love them. A nice thing, some gold twine would be nice with this as well, or any crumb cake. Oh, I didn't make that. I need someone to put their finger on here for me. I'll try it. Try doing it. It's hard to do it yourself, but you can do it if you're very careful. Oh, no, I missed it again. I will get someone to hold that for me after. It's one of those things that's difficult to do yourself. Right. I'm just going to leave it loose like that for now, and then I'll come back and tie it tighter later. You want to be careful too. You don't want to pull too hard because you could actually go through your fold, and that would be bad. So you want to be careful with that. All right. All right. So on here, that's just checking in. Reverse tweezers. Oh, yeah, that would be a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? Great idea, Judy. Judy had a really great idea. We have the reverse tweezers that are part of the Embossing Editions kit. All the reverse tweezers from years ago that Stampin' Up used to sell. And those would be fantastic to hold it in place while I'm trying to tie. So let me grab my kit here. Do I have my embossing buddy close by? No, I don't, but that's okay. I'm just going to pretend because it's such a small one anyway, and we want white. So this is the white embossed powder, and I'm going to stamp this first. I'm going to do it with Versamark ink. So Versamark is a clear sticky ink that you use when embossing. Let's get on. What I want to do is stand up, so if my voice sounds different, that is why. And I'm going to pop that right there. Oh, I did it crooked. It's crooked. I don't like going on the back, but you know why it's crooked? Because look at on the block. All right, see, it's the cutting is a little bit. So what I should have done is checked it first before I did this. But so the in is a little bit down. So I need, is that what happened? I don't know if I got this right or not, but anyway, that's better. It's better than it was the first time. All right. Let's dump this white powder on there. I'm just going to pick it up by the edges, and we're going to tap that off. All right, now look what I did. Can you see that I got, because I didn't, well, because I pressed too hard actually. So I'm going to get my, you can use your take your pick tool, which is actually really good for this. The putty end is a really good thing to have. Or if you have, I keep a little brush handy to get rid of any extra powder that I don't want. And I'm just going to make sure there's no stray bits. There's a couple of stray bits up this end. Now the J didn't come out very well, did it? Didn't come out very well at all. Oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to pop this because I'm using the Additions kit, which is great for this. It really saves you making a mess. And we're just going to pop that straight back into the tub and pop the lid on. And we have no mess. We love that. All right, so I'm going to put this. You can do this on your mat because it is a heat resistant, or you can pop it back into here as well. And this is when it is actually really handy to have a pair of tweezers, or if you don't have tweezers, you can also use the point of a pair of scissors. That will also do well and hold this down for you, or the point of your take your pick tool. It really doesn't matter. And I'm going to grab my heat tool. And I'm going to hold this down so it doesn't blow away, and I'm going to cook it. So basically what we're doing, we're cooking the powder, okay? We want that to be, and even though this is not part of today's technique, it's part of making the card. All right, it's cooking. Can you see it going whiter? Almost there. That J is a little bit dubious, but oh well. You can kind of see it says just checking in, right? I'm gonna pop that there, put the lid back on my Versamark. And then I'm going to have this. I'm going to decide where I want to put it. Do I want to put it here so it's sort of out of the way of the roses there, or do we just want to put it across the bottom of the roses? What do people think? Where should we put it? And I'll be lining the edge of this up with the fold. Okay, so if you are using grid paper or a glass mat, here's the exciting thing too, guys. If you don't have a glass mat and you want one, okay, the brain will compensate. Yeah, mine always does. Across the bottom says Nari, top says Leslie. All right, so, well, all right, so what I'm doing is I'm making sure this is on my grid and then this is here. Now, I started to tell you that next month, this month, demonstrators can get their hands on the glass mat if you wish to purchase it. But from next month, it will be available to customers until sold out. All right, I'm just going to use, you could use full-size dimensionals. I'm just going to use mini ones. And I'm just going to take the backs off those. Looks good there, says Judy. Right, well, I'm assuming now that I've moved it, I'm putting it so it's lined up with, I need to stand up and get above it, make sure that I've got it straight. Yeah, I do. Right, and there we go. We have a beautiful shaped card, and it does it stand up? Yeah, it does. You could display it like that, so we'll stand up for you. And then you can see I've got another one here, and I'll I'll do this, finish this one off as well, and then I'll have 2. So there we go. Look at that. What do you think? Do we like these? All right. I missed colouring a petal on my lowest daisy. Did I? Where? Which one? My lowest daisy. This one? Oh, this little daisy kind of, I did miss cutting. Is this what you mean? Because sometimes it's hard to know if they're leaves or not. There is actually another daisy here. Did I miss another petal? Or are we talking about the other one? They turned out really nice though, didn't they? But it's the white that I think pulls it all together, right? So, and it's something a bit different. And I think that that's always good. Oh, we need bling, don't we? So let me just see. I have in the purple shimmer gems, if everyone knows the ones I mean, there are some Blackberry Bliss, which is just perfect. Let me grab them when I find them. 1 second. Just going through my bling drawer trying to find them. So I've got a new pack. See, these are the Blackberry Bliss ones. So that's what I want. But I've also got an open pack, and I want to use the open pack. Here we go. Oh, good, Chris. Yeah, I just think this is something really different. If you wanted to give a card to someone and you know they like really different types of cards, then I think that's a really clever way to go. I think I'll put one here. I love the Blackberry Bliss shimmer gems. I don't know if you can see how nice they are. Look how nice they are. It's such a beautiful color. Look at that. Aren't they gorgeous? Love them. I'll grab a little guy here and a little guy just a little bit higher up. And then we have a finished card that's actually super simple. Now, to write in it, you would want to cut another one of these in white and pop that inside. All right. So you could go one smaller if you wanted to, because see how this goes slightly above the fold and, you know, it needs to fit inside here. So you could go down another size, but I'd be putting a white one inside to do my writing. Yeah, thank you. Craft card and white ink is a favorite combination. Me too. I've done a lot with them over the years. And if you throw in a bit of, you know, gold embossing in there as well, you can't go wrong. I did think about embossing these, and they would be beautiful embossed in gold. Wouldn't that be nice? So that would be maybe for another time. If I make these up again, that's what I would do. But I'm actually thinking about using them for a class. But I don't normally do embossing unless I'm doing it at home where I can really control it. If I'm doing classes out and about, I don't include embossing because you know, from a health and safety kind of a thing, I want to be able to really monitor that. At home, I do the embossing for my customers, the heat embossing, because I don't want to risk anyone burning themselves because that would be very, very bad. All right, so these are done. All right, so you got to see how this one is put together. And then we got to see how that one is put together. Like I said, deckled rectangles, but any big shapes are going to work really well. So I think these are really lovely. What do you guys think? Do you like them? Great. That's really, really good. Nicole, that's hilarious. Wild Texas Rose. Yes, indeed. Oh, you guys. Well, I'm really glad you like them. That's really fun. So does anyone have any questions for me about any of this or anything else Stampin' Up related that you would like to ask me before I head off? A couple of people have asked me if I had something done to my nails because I don't normally have nice nails, and this was a special treat that I treated myself to for my birthday, which was earlier in June. So that's the reason why I have my nails all coloured. And I've actually decided I've got another appointment. So, oh my goodness, I'm going to have nice nails a little bit longer. Oh, thank you. I'm really glad you like them. Now, next week we'll have something else different. What is coming up? We've got Craft Along coming up this Thursday at 2 p.m. and we'll be making a cool card with that. I'm actually doing a card in a box, and everyone who purchased with me last month would have got the supply pack for that. I have a blog post to go with that, which I'm about to hit submit on. I've just got to finish writing up the last of the measurements for people who would like to do that. So I will post that blog address in the description below this video almost immediately after the video. So if you come back in a few minutes, it will be there. I'm just thinking, is there anything else you need to know? Friday night and Sunday night, of course, will be live again as always. Also, this week, Friday, this is the week that I have my Stampin' Global Stampin' Video Hop. I'm part of that this month as well, and that'll also go live on Friday evening. So, so lots and lots of things coming up. It is nice to treat ourselves, right? Oh, you got a petty this morning. Well, I do that in the summertime, which I guess is why you're doing it now, because it's summer where you are. But I tend to ignore my toenails in the winter. I keep them well hidden under socks and, boots and things like that. Look, there you go, you girls. All right. Well, I'm going to say bye-bye for now. I'm going to go back to designing my cards for my alternate craft along ideas. And I will see you all on Friday at the same time at 2 p.m. Sorry, Thursday at 2 p.m. That's the 27th. That's Sydney time. So if you're elsewhere, you may find it's the previous day. Oh, well, that's very nice. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Cherie. All right, so see everybody Thursday for Craft Along, and also, of course, Friday for our next sketch in the series. So I will see you all again very soon. I'll just switch back over to myself for a second. There we go. Don't forget, guys, it is the bundle sale the last week. So if you've had your eyes on any bundles, or if you wanted to get yourself a cut and emboss machine before the sale is over, you have until the 30th of June. So only a few days left. This month has just gone so fast, don't you think? It's been such a quick month. But stay tuned. We've got lots of awesome, exciting things coming up for you, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.